Hello, St. Columbus. There's been several great daily breads about trips to the Holy Land, and it got me thinking about my time there, which happened while I was in seminary. Um, one of my favorite places in the Holy Land in Palestine is the Holy Sepulchre, which is in Jerusalem. The Holy Sepulchre is this in my mind, magical place. It's a church over which um, uh, some of the earliest Christians believed that on one side Jesus was buried, and for which they later found a first century tomb, and on the other side is Calvary, where Jesus was crucified. And um, this church has is owned by three different churches, and six different churches either own it or have rights to it. Now, this caused a lot of my fellow seminarians quite a bit of distaste because the Holy Sepulchre is messy. I mean, first, it's a building that I think is 1,000 years old or something. It's very old. But because it's a mess also in the sense that like different factions hold control of different parts of the church, and this is like immortalized in the immovable ladder, which I've got a picture of. The story of the immovable ladder goes like this. In the 18th century, one of the churches set up a ladder to like either clean the windows or to give food to the monks or something like that. But before they could get the ladder down, a huge fight broke out about the presence of the ladder. Who gave permission to use that ladder? And 300 years later, it's still there. Nobody could ever agree about who had the right to take it down or whether it should have ever been put up. It became a symbol of how intractable the church is in some ways. Now, you might think that's a horrible image of the church, and it's not good, definitely. But what I like about it is that there's no facade in the Holy Sepulchre. You see all of the bumps and bruises. You see what it would be like if the church literally held space together, tried to worship in the same space. And sometimes it is not pretty. Okay, it got me thinking. This place, the Holy Sepulchre, it got me thinking about one of my favorite quotes from Dietrich Bonhoeffer from his book called Life Together. Here it goes. Innumerable times a whole Christian community has broken down because it has sprung from a wish dream. But God's grace speedily shatters such dreams. Just as surely as God desires to lead us to a knowledge of genuine Christian fellowship, so surely must we be overwhelmed by a great disillusionment with others, with Christians in general, and if we are fortunate, with ourselves. Only that fellowship which faces such disillusionment, with all of its unhappy and ugly aspects, begins to be what it should be in God's sight. Part of the Christian journey is realizing that when we are in real community with one another, when we take seriously really hard ideas, and what that would mean to embody those ideas as a community, not as individuals, but as a community, difficulty is oftentimes on the horizon within ourselves, with each other, with the church. And that is part of it. And the Holy Sepulchre perfectly embodies, I think, this passage from Dietrich Bonhoeffer.